Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Customs on the Express Line. Now I decided this week we would go ahead and I would go over the Annesburg coal mine locomotive. The locomotive wasn't started until I think May, and those hopper cars were not finished until I believe March. I believe I finished those guys in March. Before they are what they are now, they first started out as I think I only had four. I had two micro. I had those two micro trains ones right there, and then I had I think three Bachmann ones. There's that Bachmann one, and then there was this one and this one, and those guys all got converted into. Those two guys got converted into those weird shorter wagons that they have in the game. So they're getting all just kind of sit in the scrapyard area over here, which someday I might go into detail about that section. These guys back here were, I think about these, I bought those, but all of these I think were 13 bucks. I bought both those three for at a train store in Thomasville. I remember when I first started painting these, I'd gone ahead and I'd taken every single car apart, and when I was painting these, I had a huge problem with the weather, and I went ahead and I took apart all of the Bachmann ones, and they all stayed outside, and they all went ahead, they dried. I started taking apart the other microtrains wagons, but the thing you need to know about these microtrains wagons is that they're not particularly heavy, and with all of the weird weather we had been having, the wind was still going, and for some reason one of them decided to blow away. That's right, the microtrains ones were so light that the wind just decided to carry one of them away, and I lost one of them in the yard, and I was like, well damn, now I gotta go look for it. And the thing about the microtrains wagons is they have these little hatches, they have the little door hatches underneath. You can't really see it on one. I think you can find which one's the lightly damaged one. I think it's that one. You can see how the door is hanging down a little bit there. And there's a car with the door not hanging down as much. So I believe it is that one right there. That's the one that lost it. This is the one that got blown away. That wagon right there. So that one got blown away, had its doors knocked off due to the wind. So note to y'all, just make sure when you're spray painting that you choose a day where it's not windy. I made a mistake and a car blew away. So yeah, that was one funny story that happened during all this. I went ahead and I dry brushed all of these in elephant gray and some apple barrel matte black. Gave some of them little scratch marks on the side. I think the reason I had done that is because I was trying to just scrape off the original numbering and lettering, and I was just being lazy. And I was just like, okay, I guess I could just make that look like damage on the side of the wagon. So that's lazy me. Another thing you need to know is when I bought these three at the back here that were used, they all did not come with a coal load. So I ended up, sorry, you're losing half of your train here, but I need to, hopefully I picked the wagons with the, I had to go and I make resin copies of the original coal load. I don't know if this one's the original. Oh my God, please be original. Damn you. So they're all, I think this one is the original. Right there, you can kind of see, never mind, no, you can't see. This is more of a satin finish to one. Coal load, that's the original. And I think that one's the original as well. So I went ahead and had to make resin copies of the coal load, so that these guys had their own. From any sort of distance, you really can't tell that they're a copy. Although if you are looking closely, you can see the grass from the table starting to stick to the resin copies. And that's the way you can tell the difference. When I was taking apart, I think, one of the Bachmann ones to try and put microtrains couplers on it, one of them ended up losing their detailing in between the frames there. Let's see, look at that one. Yeah, you see I pulled out some of the detailing between the frames because I'm an idiot. I tried replacing the couplers, so this is the one Bachmann one. I don't know, eventually I'll maybe replace it at some point. Probably won't. It's just there, I guess. I had to remove all of the brake wheels and I put them all in the correct spot according to Red Dead. Before I had made those, I had made this one. This is just that teal one. I remember I had a really hard time trying to get the paint on this. I tried mixing together a bunch of blues that I already had, and I went out and I was just like, eventually like, okay, well, am I really gonna go out and am I gonna buy teal paint literally for just one rail car that I could, yeah, I did. I just bought paint specifically for this. I know I've never used it and it's probably still sitting in my drawer waiting for the day it'll get used again. But yeah, let's move on to the Locomotive, I suppose. The Locomotive is a Athearn 280. The reason I chose to go with the 280 is because, well, one, I found this at a train show in at the NC Transportation Museum in May, and I found it and it was like $60. And this thing literally came in a bag. I think I still have the bag, probably. Literally came in a bag. Yeah. Literally came in a bag that says, I think Bachmann. It was $60. I was like, okay. The reason I wanted to go with a 280 is because I don't know, I think 280s pulling a big honkin' coal train seems a little bit more in character. That would make a little bit more variety than just building another 10-wheeler. But you can see they do share still, I guess, a lot of the same tropes like the stack. This is from a 3D printed kit for Athearn 440 or the Athearn 440s. I bought those for Leviathan and York, see if they got their new stacks or whatever. Eventually I will think about, I did think about getting a shorter tender so that the height's a little lower. There's kits out there to do that. And the motor in this one is kind of sucky. It's not that, it is fine. You can see it's running completely fine, but it's drawing quite a lot and it's going quite slow. So eventually I'll get maybe another motor or something put in there. So, yeah, I think that about covers it for this model. Thank you all for watching and goodbye.